Ancient roadways once stretched across continents, moving armies and ideas faster than any modern highway could imagine. Stay with me to uncover the 10 forgotten networks, and number 1 is a route almost nobody guesses. Imagine a network of packed clay roads stretching between the first cities of Mesopotamia, linking Uruk, and Eridu long before the wheel became common. Researchers believe these pathways facilitated the exchange of barley, lapis lazuli, and ideas about writing across a region that covered roughly 300 kilometers. Archaeologists have uncovered compacted mud brick foundations and wear patterns indicating regular traffic of carts drawn by oxen. The routes also connected temple complexes, allowing priests to coordinate seasonal festivals and administrative record-keeping. While exact lengths remain debated, satellite imaging suggests a web of thoroughfares spanning the Fertile Crescent, effectively creating the world's earliest interstate system. This early infrastructure set a precedent for later empires, showing how organized transport could amplify a civilization's reach and resilience.
Surprisingly, the lifeblood of ancient Egypt was not only the river itself but a series of engineered causeways that linked major temple sites along the Nile's banks. These stone-paved tracks, some dating to the Old Kingdom, allowed priests and labourers to move between Karnak, Luxor, and Abydos without relying solely on barges. Estimates suggest the combined length of these causeways exceeded 200 kilometers, with sections featuring drainage channels to cope with seasonal flooding. Hieroglyphic reliefs depict processions marching along these routes, underscoring their ceremonial importance. Modern ground-penetrating radar has revealed hidden sublayers of packed limestone, confirming that the Egyptians invested considerable resources into overland travel. By integrating river and road travel, the civilization achieved a logistical flexibility that supported massive building projects and the distribution of grain during famine years, reinforcing the central authority of the pharaohs.
Ancient planners of the Indus Valley civilization laid out a remarkably uniform grid of streets and pathways connecting major settlements like Harappa, Mohenjo-Daro, and Dholavira. Excavations show main thoroughfares up to 15 meters wide, paved with baked brick and occasionally lined with stone curbs. Scholars estimate these routes stretched over 1,200 kilometers, enabling the movement of bronze tools, cotton textiles, and standardized weights across a region that spanned modern-day Pakistan and northwest India. The roads often intersected at precisely measured junctions, suggesting a centralized authority overseeing construction. Some segments crossed the arid Thar Desert, where ancient engineers employed compacted earth and drainage channels to prevent sand accumulation. While the exact administrative purpose remains debated, the network clearly facilitated trade, cultural exchange, and perhaps even the spread of the enigmatic Indus script, illustrating an advanced understanding of infrastructure long before written records appear elsewhere.
Remarkably, the peoples of Bronze Age Anatolia carved stone-surfaced routes across rugged mountain terrain to connect Hattusa, the Hittite capital, with peripheral city-states. These high-altitude highways, some ascending over 2,000 meters, featured carefully leveled cobblestones and retaining walls that prevented landslides. Archaeologists have dated sections to around 1500 BCE using thermoluminescence, indicating that early engineers possessed sophisticated knowledge of geology and construction. The paths facilitated the transport of tin and copper, essential for bronze production, as well as the movement of chariot troops during seasonal campaigns. Evidence of way stations, small stone shelters with stored provisions, suggests organized long-distance travel. Though much of the network has eroded, remote sensing has mapped a web of corridors extending roughly 800 kilometers, underscoring how early societies overcame formidable natural barriers to maintain economic and military cohesion.
Few people know that Bronze Age Sardinia hosted an intricate system of stone trackways linking the island's mysterious Nuragic towers. Built from locally quarried basalt, these routes often rose above the dense Mediterranean scrub, creating raised walkways up to 10 meters wide. Radiocarbon dating of associated charcoal suggests construction began around 1300 BCE, predating many mainland European road projects. The pathways enabled the transport of precious metal ores, especially copper, from inland mines to coastal ports where they were shipped across the sea. Some segments include carved stone markers, possibly serving as early mileposts or territorial boundaries. While the exact length remains uncertain, surveys estimate the network covered at least 250 kilometers, weaving through valleys and over ridges. This connectivity likely facilitated the spread of the distinctive Nuragic culture, allowing ideas, pottery styles, and religious practices to disseminate across the island long before Roman domination.
Hidden among the dense jungles of the Yucatan, the Maya constructed Sacbeob, elevated stone causeways that linked cities, ceremonial centers, and distant outposts. These white lime-plastered roads could stretch for dozens of kilometers, with the longest known example, the Sacbeob II, extending over 100 kilometers. Built using limestone blocks and compacted earth, the Sacbeob provided dry, reliable passage over swampy terrain, essential during the rainy season. Archaeologists have found offerings of obsidian and jade placed along the routes, indicating their spiritual significance as pathways between worlds. The causeways also facilitated the movement of tribute goods such as cacao, jade, and maize between major centers like Tikal and Calakmul. Despite centuries of forest overgrowth, LiDAR scanning has revealed a complex web of over 200 miles of Sacbeob, underscoring the Mayas' sophisticated planning and their ability to integrate infrastructure with cosmology.
Deep beneath the towering Andes, the Inca engineered the Qhapaq Ñan, a vast stone-paved network that spanned roughly 30,000 kilometers across the empire. Built without the wheel, Inca laborers cut precise stone steps into steep cliffs, installed drainage channels, and erected rope bridges over deep gorges. The road facilitated rapid troop movements, allowing armies to traverse up to 250 kilometers in a single day, a feat that astonished early Spanish chroniclers. Along the route, tambos, small inns stocked with food and water, provided rest for messengers, known as chasquis, who relayed information using a relay system. While the empire fell in the 16th century, many sections remain intact, and UNESCO recognizes the Qhapaq Ñan as a World Heritage Site. Its enduring presence highlights how pre-modern societies could achieve logistical feats comparable to modern highways, uniting diverse ecological zones under a single administrative framework.
Consider the subtle stone trails that wove through the arid mesas of the American Southwest, connecting ancestral Puebloan communities such as Chaco Canyon, Mesa Verde, and Aztec ruins. These routes, often only a few meters wide, were carefully graded and sometimes lined with low stone walls to prevent erosion. Radiocarbon dates place their primary use between 900 and 1300 CE, a period when the Pueblo peoples engaged in extensive trade of turquoise, copper, and pottery. The roads enabled seasonal migrations, allowing families to move between high-elevation farming terraces in summer and lower-altitude settlements during winter. Some pathways converge at central plazas, suggesting coordinated communal gatherings or religious festivals. Though modest compared to stone highways elsewhere, the network demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of terrain management and social organization in a challenging desert environment.
Archaeologists have uncovered remnants of early imperial roads in China that predate the famed Silk Road by centuries, linking the Shang heartland with peripheral regions such as the Yangtze Basin. Constructed from compacted earth and later reinforced with stone slabs, these routes often featured roadside markers indicating distances, a practice recorded in bronze inscriptions. Estimates suggest the network stretched over 1,500 kilometers, enabling the movement of bronze weapons, ritual vessels, and tribute grain to the capital at Anyang. The roads also facilitated the spread of early writing systems and religious rites across diverse tribal groups. While many segments have been buried under later dynastic constructions, LiDAR surveys reveal a grid-like pattern that underscores the Shang's ambition to integrate distant territories through engineered pathways.
Legend says that long before modern highways, Nubian traders carved a series of caravan tracks across the Sahara's edge, linking the Kingdom of Kush with Mediterranean ports. These routes, marked by stone cairns and occasional wells, allowed the transport of gold, ivory, and exotic incense over distances exceeding 1,200 kilometers. Geological studies indicate that the pathways were deliberately aligned to avoid the most treacherous sandstorms, following natural ridgelines and dry riverbeds. Artifacts such as bronze bracelets and pottery shards found near the cairn suggest sustained use from roughly 1500 BCE through the early Common Era. Though the tracks are now largely obscured by shifting dunes, satellite imagery has traced their faint outlines, revealing a sophisticated logistical network that underpinned one of Africa's earliest long-distance economies.
We have traveled across time, tracing the silent stone and earth that once guided merchants, soldiers, and pilgrims between fledgling societies. These prehistoric highways remind us that connectivity is as old as humanity itself, shaping economies, wars, and cultures long before the internet. If you want more eye-opening journeys into the past, subscribe so you never miss the next mind-blowing list we release each week. Which of these ancient routes surprised you most? Tell me in the comments below, and give this video a like if you enjoyed the adventure.